videos. All right, what's up, guys? This is the Frequency Control Show. Back at you. What is it? March 4th.
What up?
That's what's up. All right, as you can tell, we got a new logo, new display. Will, you'll notice that if you come back and watch this, it's just more streamlined, clean. Uh, and the windows are a little bit bigger because Will was concerned about how it was just narrow in your face. So I widened them, made them bigger, all this extra superficial crap. But the main stuff is there as far as the message. Today we're talking about the slippery slope behind personal development and the focus on like when people want to develop themselves, they never develop themselves based on like what they're doing great. They focus on identifying their faults and opportunities, and then is just slippery slope behind now you're focused on the negative things in your life as opposed to what do you do great. Like if you're a husband and you're like, I'm terrible at getting my wife roses, but what are you good at? Do you work hard and you feed the family? Like there's a balance. Like what should you focus on? So that's what we're some of what we're going to talk about today, and then Will has actually another thing about what he's actually done with. We're going to go twofold here because Will was speaking on how he finds his like definite purpose, right? And then how it changes and evolves and things of that nature. But I kind of want to lead with that before we go with this personal development piece. Uh, so we'll go ahead with that.
Uh, so, so I was just saying, it's pretty exciting week because um, after uh, those the reality check video, right, and really realizing what I needed to do to get to the next step, right, my next logical hustle to get to my main game. So, but once I clearly define what I want, which is like every podcast we're talking about it, but it's like once I clearly define exactly what I wanted, and then honestly clearly define my next logical hustle as well, because I had a little bit of issue there on concentrate on the how too much and not focusing on the how that I had already started and what makes me feel good doing that definitely could lead here. We don't know, right? But once I define what I wanted and then clearly define my next logical hustle to get there, now all of a sudden new things on that hustle are showing up. For example, I created this daily takeoff checklist. It's ready. We're going to be posting. Just got to figure out how the links. How I'm going to set up the link for it. But and then I always thought, well, with this daily takeoff checklist, I kind of wanted to create an audio series, but I had no idea where I was going to go with the audio series. I just know, well, that'd be really cool and beneficial to do. So, but once I define my next logical hustle also, then this audio thing I wanted to do totally made sense. We'll make an audio of this daily takeoff checklist because so people can understand what they're reading, understand what they need to do on a daily basis, how to fill out your main game and your next logical hustle, how to fill out the who am I, part, and some of the character traits like your body style and your health and the way you look and your accessories, those are all custom. That's going to be different for everybody. So just to explain those things and explain that you want to kind of rewrite it yourself so it's more personal and this and that. But the whole creating an audio series, I would have never thought that this is the audio series I would have created if I didn't actually starting new stuff and just sticking with what I already started and keep focusing on that and keep working on that. And now all these other things are lining up in the same lane that I'm already going, and that's just really exciting to me. Because now I'm now coming up with new ideas. It's like when you know, no business plan that's ever been planned has ever been achieved, because once you start something, everything changes. Because now you know something you didn't know before. So you can write a major business plan, and then as soon as you start, you're going to throw it out the window, because as soon as you start, everything's different. You know, things change. So it's just it's so exciting right now, man. Just this material, man, and just knowing what I want, and knowing the only how I know is my next logical hustle to get there. And then from there, we're going to see how it actually happens. But now I'm starting to see bigger things I can do, just creating this daily takeoff checklist. And now I'm halfway through an audio series on the daily takeoff checklist that I'm almost thinking might turn into something bigger, like the recipe for success, the success recipe.
Yeah, once you start going, it all starts to pile up, man. And next thing you know, you go like you got a bunch of shit going on all at one time, and that's the craziest thing, you know. It's like you start out,
All in the same lane, though.
yeah, but you don't. You start out. I've just learned a lot,
Oh,
like as I've executed a lot more action items and stuff.
oh, there it goes.
What's that?
I was gonna say, are you sure that you can hear my audio? Because my box isn't switching the
Yeah.
green,
Oh,
but it is.
yeah, you're good. So
Uh,
the thing is, it's like I forgot what we were talking about now. Fuck.
me,
I was on something, and then you start worrying about the audio and shit.
yeah,
But you know, there's something to be said about like starting out and doing something, and then once you finish something, you just want to finish 10,000 more things. Hold on, I gotta plug this thing in real quick.
yeah. This material, this is incredible, man. I'm so excited to bring this daily takeoff checklist and have you guys check it out. You know, this is, start yourself down your own momentum cycle. Uh, yeah, it's pretty exciting. Can't wait for you guys to read it.
Yeah, but yeah, so you're getting addicted to finishing stuff and really starting to go like, man. But then what's funny is like all of a sudden it just starts to build up, and there's so many layers of what you're doing. You just all of a sudden start having leverage when things start coming your way as opportunities. You start being looked at a little bit more professionally. You've got a bunch of background stuff you've already done. And then it's just like things get easier to do. For instance, I'm doing sync licensing now, and because I've already did my website and already done my YouTube and already done all this other shit, Instagram, all this other stuff, when I go to these guys, now these libraries are reaching out to me, which is I only started really hammering down last night, you know, or for like 8 hours. But you know, the thing is, next thing you know, these guys are like, "Hey, what's up?" You know, like we looked at your Instagram, we looked at your stuff. We'd like to work with you exclusively. And so then it's like, okay, now like already it's starting to evolve. And because normally if it was say 10 months ago, they would have said, we're ready to work with you. And I would have been like, oh shit, that means I got to finish some beats. You know, like, but like now I have beats finished, and because I've built these layers, now everything else starts to come a little bit easier, you know. Um, it's crazy, and that's where like you're at, where you're like things start to like soon as you did this checkoff sheet, next thing you know you start thinking of 10 other ways you could do this. So like I'm doing the sync licensing thing, and I'm like, man, they like funk music on these some of these shows. Like, damn, I got like 65 songs with Ria or Ricky that are just instrumentals. I'm like, damn, those could work perfect. I could submit all those exclusively to those places for licensing. And there's just so many ways. And then next thing you know, you start looking at way. I realized these exclusive libraries will pay you $50 to $500 for each track you submit to them. So they're paying you straight up front fees for your tracks because you're going exclusive to them. Then you get royalties. Then they also say, "Hey, we have. Can you make a custom track for McDonald's?" And you get about 3 of those a year. And then next thing you know, those could be anywhere from $750 to $5,000. And then next thing you know, you start getting all these other opportunities that start coming your way to make stuff. And I'm like, all this because it just starts to evolve. And it's like, once you do one thing, you're like, I could do this. Oh, now that I've done this thing and I built this email list, I could take all 100 beats from my getbeatsforfree.com website and say, hey, do you want all 100 beats for X amount of dollars, 10 cents a piece, to this email list that are like legit customers. And things just start to, they just start jumping around and becoming more and more and more and changing and moving. And you're like, oh shit, man, how do I even keep up with all this new angles? Because once you just commit to one angle, you'll find 15 more, dude. And that's what I found, is once I committed to one angle, finished the one angle, 18 other angles popped up. And it was like, oh shit, this is crazy. Like there's a lot to be said about, like, you wish for something, you want something, and then you do the things you said you were going to do. You're like, I would have, I wish I could run the 4 minute mile. I think I'm going to run every day, and I'm going to execute running a 4 minute mile. Okay, so you prayed for the 4 minute mile, yet, you didn't run, but you knew that to get there, you were going to work hard and run. But then you sat on your couch and just said, I can't believe I'm not hitting my 4 minute mile. Well, it's like you're not training the way you said you were going to train to get there, So, like, once you start following through with what you thought you would have to do to get there, and you do all these things, all of a sudden, all these fucking 100 other avenues open up. And that's what you're dealing with now. You're going, shit, now that I built this, which is probably like 15 pages more. I think it's like 16 pages this daily checkoff sheet, right? Or
Uh,
am I tripping? It's a lot of pages.
I don't remember. Let's look at it. Yeah,
It's
16.
I know I knew, but I just trying to give you the anyway. But the bottom line is 16 pages long. Like my memory. So 16 pages long, and I'm looking at it like, holy shit, fuck, 16 pages. It could only be one page. 16 pages of pure value, and I'm like, damn, man, he did 16 pages. That's just crazy. And then it evolves into more stuff, and now you're sitting on something of value. For instance, if you were to do a simple, you want to generate emails, you say, hey, you can have the 16-page PDF file or whatever file format it's in for free. Just give me your email. You generate 1,000 emails, and I've generated 1,000 emails in 2 weeks. So the thing is, you generate all these emails because what you're offering is of nothing but value to these people, especially the specific people you targeted. And then next thing you know, now you have something of bigger value to add to them. Maybe the audio book of how to utilize the daily checkout sheet. So you gave it to them, and now you have the thing to sell to the people, that is that to add that value, right? Like, hey, I built this book. I took the time out of my day, sacrificed time with my child, time doing things other than this, like walking in the park, breathing great air, missing out on the good sunny days to get a hair. I mean, same with my beats. People go like, well, how come there's so much money? Well, it's like, every time it's sunny, I stay inside to make sure you get a beat a week. Like, what are you tripping on? Like I would love to just go out there, have a Corona and relax, but instead I stay in and make sure I make some fresh new beats for you. But there's something to be said about, like, here's value. Here's a 16-page tool that you can utilize that will help you start your day, help you achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Not to be repetitive, but then follows up something, an audio piece, right? That to help you figure out how to utilize that, how to do it, What was that idea, by the way? Because we will be putting this link in the description. Of course, maybe a little bit more detail after seeing how Will wants to present that. But